Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Today on the show we are going to be talking to the creator of an incredible new movie coming out called Beyond Food, which is going to be able to educate us on some of the myths that exist around food today, what nutrition is, and really be able to shine a light on some of the newer advancements or the newer knowledge that's coming out now when it comes to biohacking and nutrition and what we have available in the world. But before I introduce my special guest, I just want to remind you that if you are watching this show on Facebook or if you're watching it later on our YouTube channel, don't forget that after the show is over, if you click the link below this video, just take my 30-second quiz so we can figure out what's holding you back from success. So please let me introduce my special guest today, my friend Tomas Reyes. How are you, Thomas?
Hey, Natalie. How's it going?
Good. Now, Thomas and I are friends. We've known each other for a little while. And I know that you've been working on this movie for some time now. And it's not just, for you, it's not just a movie. This is like an act of love, it's an act of passion. And you've put, I know you've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. So tell us a little bit about your background and the motivation behind the movie that you've created.
Sure. So I'm a cook and a photographer by trade. I'm a cultural hybrid. I'm Colombian, but I grew up in Paris. I've lived in Brazil, in Tokyo, in New York. And so I've been in the US since 2009. And I put on a lot of weight the first year I was in New York. Obviously, you're going out a little more, but there was also something weird about the food, and I didn't know what it was until I saw Food Inc. I hope everybody's familiar with Food Inc., which is the first documentary to expose the meat industry, and that led me to start doing a lot of research on food. And back in 2012, I was kind of ready to move from New York, from the concrete jungle, from being too much in the city, not going out to nature enough. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was here in Los Angeles, and we were doing very complementary research. And we thought, oh my God, this has to turn into a documentary, right? So we ended up being at the beginning of 2013 at the first biohacking conference ever that Dave Asprey put together. And we thought, why don't we put together a documentary that's about amazing health? And we interview everybody. We change the conversation a little bit and we focus on health and how you go about creating amazing health, as opposed to trying to focus on the fear and, this is really bad, we got to become vegan, or we got to juice and stop eating because this is insane, how we're going to be healthy. So we decided instead to go and look for amazing people who were experiencing a very, very vibrant, active health, and talk to them and see what they were doing about it. So we talked to biohackers, we talked to paleo people, we talked to vegan ultra athletes, to celebrities, to neuroscientists, and very quickly we realized that, oh, wait a second, if I only eat clean food, I'm not experiencing extraordinary health. Extraordinary health is about so much more, right? It's about food, it's about your daily practices, it's about your emotional, well-being, it's about your intentions, your purpose, your focus, and so much more. And so we ended up producing and filming the whole thing. It was our, if we had planned it and raised funds and the whole thing, it wouldn't have been so perfect. We just jumped right in it and we put our savings and our credit cards on the project, and we thought, let's just do it. And people felt that and they opened their doors to us, and we spent a year and a half traveling around the US meeting all of them. And I'm so grateful to every single one of them for being so open and giving us so much of their time. We sat with them for an hour, 90 minutes, and had deep conversations about all this.
Right. I know, because you've got people like Dave Asprey, who's the Bulletproof Coffee guy, Muriel Hemingway. So you have a lot of people, and it sounds like you've got a lot of different types of practices. So you're giving more of a, do you think it's more of a holistic view on health?
It's more of a holistic view. It's definitely more, it wants to be a more complete view, not with, a lot of non-discrimination, no judgment on like extreme views on diet, like, oh, you're my enemy because you're vegetarian or you're vegan and you're paleo and you're a meat eater, all those things. It's more like, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of the 9 blind people and the elephant, where they let 9 blind people touch one part of the elephant and describe it, and they all describe it differently. And then there's someone looking at the whole elephant and going like, no, what you're saying is incomplete, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like the idea with the movie, to provide an inspirational piece, showing people that health is so unique. There's only one, and it's yours, you know?
Yeah.
And it's an adventure. It's an adventure of discovery, and it's fun, you know? Yeah. To experience, when you start experiencing being very healthy. Everybody knows what it feels to be unhealthy. If you've been sick or if you've had surgery, it sucks, you know?
I know, well, you and I have had this conversation about, you know, what it's like to move to the US, and how everything is different. You know, when I first moved here, I didn't eat a lot of meat because it tasted different and it felt different. Like the texture was different for me. So now when I do, I make sure it's, you know, I'm eating something that's grass-fed because I'm more educated on what's healthier for me. So so tell me what you think is your idea of like holistic health. Like, you're not really advocating one specific way, right? You're just giving people the ability to be able to choose for themselves what's right for them, right?
Absolutely. And I think we're very blessed by the fact that we live in an era of, we're experiencing right now a knowledge and scientific revolution that's beyond anything we've ever known.
Yeah.
Thank God to, like, you know, all these people, all these maverick citizen scientists in a way, who are exploring other things that are not mainstream medicine, mainstream health, and mainstream science. And a lot of evolutionary thinking and theory and research paired with science and nature tells us that there's a bunch of things, there's a bunch of benefit for us humans when we reconnect to the health of ecosystems and natural foods, you know? We live on a planet that's one big ecosystem that just transforms itself constantly, right? When we die, you know, my body's going to become part of the ground, you know, and be transformed. We're in this constant transformation of matter and energy. So I think reconnecting to the fact that we are living in an ecosystem, that everything is food, that we are food, you know, and to the healthy benefits of eating wild organic foods. I'm just recently reading The Plant Paradox, which is fascinating, by Dr. Stephen Gundry. And so there's like, I'm learning all the time. It's fascinating also because we started this 4 years ago, and I'm still learning and discovering. Just this week, I also read an article about not the brain-gut connection, but the brain-gut-bone-marrow connection. And apparently the three of them communicating a lot. It's fascinating. So I particularly, I eat mostly a lot of vegetables and wild fish and some meats, you know, pastured, grass-fed, and wild fish. I am very sensitive to gluten, to grains, to legumes, and to other things as well, you know, some very inflammatory things. So when I take care of that and I take care of my gut, you know, I have my brain, I have my thoughts, I can be creative, I can be a nice person. When I'm like inflamed and I'm in pain because I, you know, went out and had a few drinks or went out to eat and ate something, you know. So that's one part. Obviously, food is at the basis, but there is so much more to experience vibrant health. You know, what's your daily practice? Do you know where you're going? Why is it that I'm here? And, you know, where am I going? And why am I doing what I'm doing? And what's my emotional landscape looking like in my relationships? And I think a wonderful thing through this really life-changing journey that was shooting the documentary is discovering all the amazing resources and tools that are available to every single one of us today.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fascinating. Books, apps, you know, tracking devices for your health. Also, things as simple as breathing techniques, you know, things that people have practiced for thousands of years, finally, thanks to science, are reaching the more mainstream audience, and people are saying, oh, okay, I understand now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think too, having such a plethora of information, when you're watching the movie, I recommend that you listen to everything and go, well, what feels right to you? Like what is sparking something in you for you to want to know more? Because that is something that I think you should really investigate further. So, what do you think was probably the most insightful thing that you learned as you were making this movie?
Exactly what I was saying, the discovery, it's a story of personal empowerment, because it's the discovery of your own adventure of creating your own extraordinary health.
Yeah.
It's a personal empowerment story. It's not, it's such an amazing and fun adventure of excitement creating it. Obviously, you read and you get informed and you see these things, but you're no longer looking for that outside person who's going to tell you what's the secret, which is what many people fall for, because they're looking for the magic bullet to create their own health. And that's why all these diet programs work,
Yeah. Or people are, putting their health into the hands of the medical system, or one particular thing where this, with the movie, I think it really helps people to, like you said, the responsibility comes back to us, and we have all this information that we can put our hands on that can really, help to, Taya, like, do you think about it, that when we're feeling happy and your brain is sharp, and, one of the things for me was the gut, everything comes from the gut, our heart, like our brain, like you were saying, brain marrow, like all these connections. But when the gut is healthy, that completely changes the energy levels and everything that we have that's going on, biologically for us. And we just, in mood and everything, it's just changed from all of that that's happening in the gut.
Absolutely. I would add to that the discovery of how much the environment affects our biology through, I think biohacking was definitely the most insightful, mind expanding, discovery of the journey.
Yeah.
Because now we know, science has shown that we have not only our genome, but our epigenome. And our genes and the expression of our genes can be transmitted over generations. So certain biological things, be it chronic illness or certain emotional things, maybe you're carrying them from your grandparents or from 10 generations ago, and you don't know about that. It's in your genes. So understanding, there's this fascinating book that I just read called Evolving Ourselves, and it's about how humans, we have changed evolution to such a degree that today destiny is in our hands. But by destiny, they mean diet, environment, stress, toxins, infections, nurture, and you and your progeny, those 7 letters. And more than ever, if we take care of our diet, we take care of our stress levels, and everything in our environment is affecting our biology. So that's the beauty of biohacking, is like you're trying to understand really your nervous system and your biological processes that are unconscious, and upgrade them and navigate through them and refine them.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting.
It is exciting. It is so exciting. And I'm so happy that the movie is here and that we have access to it. So tell me how, or tell our audience how they can, get in contact with you, or how they can get their hands on the movie.
So we're launching July 17th worldwide on demand.
Right.
So for now, it's available on iTunes for pre-order. And if everybody who watches the trailer and loves it can pre-order, that would be amazing. Because if we get to 500 pre-orders, that'll take us to the top charts on iTunes. After that, after the 17th, it's going to be available on Vimeo and Amazon and cable and satellite and a bunch of other channels around the world, which is awesome.
Awesome.
with a very cool distributor, and we're very excited. So beyondfoodthemovie.com, or just if people want to go just search Beyond Food on iTunes and pre-order, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, I have already pre-ordered my copy, which I did several weeks ago, because I have been waiting for this movie to come out for some time. Like I said, I know Thomas, and I know quite a few of the people that he's interviewed in the movie, and it's just, like we said, to be able to take your life and your health and your thoughts and your moods and everything to the next level. This movie is going to be very instrumental in helping you to do that. So I highly recommend. I know we'll make sure that we put a link here that you can go through so you can watch that movie. Please do yourself a favor and watch that movie as many times as you can, because I'm sure that it's so dense with so much information that you'll probably have to watch it a few times. But darling, thank you for joining me, Thomas, and congratulations. I know it's been a journey for you, and I know that it's going to really help a lot of people.
Thanks so much, Natalie. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I really hope so too.
Yeah. So guys, please make sure you click on the link to go through to connect with Thomas and get your hands on the movie. And make sure that, after the show is over, click that link so you can take my 30-second quiz so we can figure out what's holding you back from success. And so until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.
Yes, amen to that.